Was it SEHUN? I'm pretty sure he's like a main member still in EXO, if I'm not mistaken. And shit still.
I was gonna say because I knew they had the Chinese subunit and then SK and everything like that.
I think the Chinese subunit was EXO-SC or EXO-M. I'm sorry for Mandarin or something. I could be wrong.
No, there was something like that. I forgot exactly. That makes sense.
It's is the second official subunit of South Korean Chinese boy band EXO, consisting of
Kai and them, Kai Beck.
SC is Chanyeol and SEHUN.
Chanyeol?
Yeah, Chanyeol.
Oh, so it's a subunit.
Okay, so it's just them two though and shit.
Yeah,
probably.
Okay, and if it's just SEHUN here, then it's probably just a solo, and probably just him then. Cool.
Okay.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Redemption 46 Studios. I'm Nick.
I'm Curtis.
I'm Zach.
I'm Pete. I'm Julio.
You know the vibes. Y'all saw the picture. Y'all seen the thumbnail. Y'all know why y'all here. EXO-SC on me. Track MV. SEHUN Solo. As far as SEHUN or SEHUN goes, like I don't think we've ever done anything that was like solo work from him. So this should be a treat.
Definitely.
I feel like he's not rap line and shit. It's EXO. You just never know. I feel like everybody do everything too. Did it tell you if he's a main vocalist or rap line? All visuals, you know what I mean? But it's like nah, yeah, for him.
He is. Give me one quick second. I don't care about ads.
Rapper. Singer. See what I mean?
Okay.
Okay, so we don't know what the fuck we're gonna get. It's on me. It's EXO. It's gonna be sexy. We know that. But yeah, man, we all ready to dive into this, man?
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
And it's a teaser. Should have been in 56. You feel like you about to hit us with some heat and leave.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Especially like
the
them rap 16s and everything.
Oh, some pressure in there.
Alrighty. I like it.
A lot of pressure.
Oh. All right, good start. Oh. 나도 놀았지 말고 옥상 위에 캠퍼스를 꺾어 친구들을 두고 처럼 놔두고도 버릇처럼 섞어 나답게 해 off-grid Wi-Fi 즐기다가 갈래
SEHUN, he got them gems out.
보이는 꼬리 라인 마치
He giving.
The instrument's really hot.
She just flexing on us.
I like this. That fit hot, man. 미리 인사해 bye 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 신경 안 쓰는 vibe 나는 잘못해 lie 끌리는 게 답인 type 미리 인사해 bye 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 신경 안 쓰는 vibe 나는 잘못해 lie 끌리는 게 답인 type 흘러가는 대로 절대 쓸려가지 않아 그들과 나 사이 오해도 억지로 풀고 싶지 않아 거짓말은 못해 말해 가식은 난 못해 설득하지 않아도 딱 끄떡이는 고개 인지는 완벽한 패턴 잘 듣는 브레이크는 덤
I feel a little West Coast-ish, doesn't it?
It's giving this.
Yeah, a little West Coast.
Stop the yard.
It's giving that. Ooh.
Yeah.
He has some pressure in that video.
Giving
Too.
that hyphy.
Confidence.
That's Nah, that's SM though, yo. Like this what SM do, man. SM got all the baddies in here. You know, 2 baddies, 1 Porsche. But it got all the baddies in here. It felt like a flex, man. That's what it really felt. I felt like he just was flexing.
That's how he came out. He came out flexing right here.
Yeah.
Straight.
Like, what was the horse needed for, bro? Like, that looked like they got the best stallion that they could get and shit that money could buy, just for him to flex on and shit. They got a cowboy redeemed or something. The other video. you know, go watch the earlier reaction.
For the cowboy.
Like even the dog and shit. Come on, what dog is that? Someone Google
Maltese. Maltese.
Yeah, how much they? That might have been
something, little something.
$30,000.
They were like, actually, that's another fun fact. That's the #1 Maltese in the world that they just borrowed for the video.
It was breeding on the moon.
It was reading on that day.
His confidence was everything, man. He came out swinging. The visuals, what I really liked in this video was the visuals. Every time the camera was on him, he still had everybody in the background, of course, the dancers and everything else, but it always focused on him going through every frame. And the one part when they were coming out, going through their shoes, they killed it. Whoever did that, look at just all the camera views.
Yeah, cinematography was on point. I like the gritty style, like that underground raw. It just got that raw feel.
Fucking color palette is fucking crazy too, because it's like an LED kind of joint, but it's just dope. Even all the wide lens shots and stuff. This is really cinematic gold, and they just kind of having fun.
Stomp the yard right here. Stomp the yard vibe.
That shit is crazy. They did like a kaleidoscope kind of look when it does it's like an inverted kaleidoscope where like it does a zoom in and then everything kind of layers and trickles out. Like that shit is just like it's dope and it's crazy too because without even hearing the song, you still kind of get the vibe of just looking at the MV and everything like that. But yeah, man, this feels like SM. This definitely feels like a flex and everything like that. And he exudes not even just SM, but like that EXO energy where no matter who's there in EXO, they're gonna take up like the camera. Like, you know what I mean? They're gonna look at you, you're gonna feel the vibe, you're gonna feel the energy.
Confidence.
And it's just like a confident thing. They really walk around like they're like I'm him. They are them. Like this was dope, man. I don't know. You probably gonna jump into the lyrics and probably can like give us a little bit more because that's something don't be giving a fuck. They be like, you Google this shit.
I will.
I will. But it's something about them. I always say EXO in general kind of hit like your 90s, early 2000s R&B and like rap shit as far as like the energy goes and stuff. But this is decent. Even that. Look at the whole like. I feel like they've like fucking. I feel like that's SM's private plane hangar. That they just did this and shit. Then they did the cinematic gold too, where you wet the floor, so you can have like the lighting bounce up and everything kind of mirror.
Such a
and
layered
everything.
dimension within the shot.
Trippy right there.
Yeah,
like
it's and they was shooting at Golden Hour too when they did all the horror stuff and shit. They was on some shit. They was like, we just gonna cinematically just do all this deep god tier and shit. I'm a sucker for the under camera joint where you just kind of like looking underneath and doing your joint and shit like that. You run your
you gotta put the artist on that pedestal like I'm above.
Like I'm above you and shit. I'm looking up.
The energy.
Yeah, I look down on you fucking haters.
Sharp
That song's called On Me. Like all eyes on me.
There's a little bit of rotation to it too. It looks very kind of ironically underground as far as like some of the rap style and everything like that. So it's interesting that it conveys that power dynamic, but is also something that could be like an underground sort of concept, particularly like hip hop energy. But it exudes, or it allows you to exude so much confidence and energy.
I like this
with it.
style
I
right
thought
here.
it was
That
used
shit was
really
fire.
well in here too.
Yes.
And even the fisheye lens was different too because they had. Not to get too film headed, they have like a fisheye lens, but it looks like it's a bokeh and an effect, the kind of vignette, I guess like the sides of kind of what's going
It
on.
bends the sides of the frame around it.
Yeah, so it's like an optical illusion on top of like the fisheye lens and everything to kind of help make it look a little bit more spacey and a little bit more outer worldly a little bit. But it's dope. It's just I don't feel like I've seen that type of filter on the fisheye lens kick and kind of with the stuff that they were doing editing wise to transition
Could that be a
to
normal?
the next scene.
Could that be a normal fisheye with a focus puller?
Yeah, they could have did a bunch of different things. It could have been done like in camera, and then a couple of things like to contrast that were done like outside when it was time to do post. But
It layered really well though.
There's a lot of camera
worked.
tricks.
Yeah,
A lot of camera tricks.
yeah, and it's again, everything just feels like a flex though. Like it's just like pussy, we can do this if we felt like it. We felt like doing
He came
this.
out
today.
swinging. Look, he came out here like this, jump right out.
Shit, these might be the most chicks I've seen like in a K-pop
It's like the stage.
like he might have just
asses.
set the standard.
It's more than I see in a K drama.
He's winning in that aspect so far, man. Yes. Look at him.
They carried. Yeah, I'm done, man. This fire, man. Is that anything from you, man? Some fits? How you feel?
I like this. Like the production. Love the video. Like y'all said, love how gritty it was. Kind of like the outfits. Definitely like the green one the most, though.
That's the best one.
I did a little background. This is on 1 billion views.
Wow.
They definitely gave like Drake, Future, Drake, 21 Savage on this because him and what's the other one, Chanyeol?
Yeah.
They both had a little solo song at the end of their mixtape. So it was like
Oh, okay.
They all
We
like a couple
makes sense.
songs had them together. Then the last two songs, they each had their own. So it's kind of like the 21 Drake or Future and Drake.
That's
How they had their setups to their mixtape as well. How they let they get their shit off at the end. Dance moves was fire. Definitely, ladies killed it. All the ladies behind them smoked it. Looks,
Felt nice
dance
and insane.
wise.
Ladies.
Definitely, all the fits were underground. Like this a lot though.
See, man, that's why I don't care. And Kermit let you get your shit off. K-pop, especially like Julio and Pete, reminds me so much of kind of like what Wu-Tang Clan did, where it's like you can have a group, but you can have like so many
Different
subunits.
flavors.
You can
Yeah.
have different
Oh, yeah,
flavors.
like-
you
oh,
can
yeah,
have
I see what you're saying.
It
soloists.
reminds me of, you said that
Like
It's almost like
Wu-Tang had
if-
Killer Army. They had so many.
It's almost like with what Ghost when fucking Ghost and Chef did the joint and shit like early on and shit.
Method
Meth
Man
and
and
Red.
Redman.
Meth and Med, like
Meth and Redman.
yeah, but just kind of different subunits, whole group projects, solo joints and everything. You know, not to say they were the template, even though in my opinion, I think Wu-Tang might have been the first group ever to kind of get into how they got into
Certainly
everything.
to
as
their
far-
extent,
Yeah, as far as like someone literally doing a solo project and then coming back to the group, and then people literally being like, "Yo, just jump on my album. We'll do just a subunit with just us two almost."
Sure.
Like
we
you
looked
know,
forward for that. Those
Yeah.
projects were like, oh my god.
and I can only imagine like you know what I mean.
And
At the
honestly,
time.
too, it's like not to get into a tangent with that, but just to kind of add to that as well is the fact that they were producing everything in house as well. So basically, there wasn't a label overhead to kind of basically tell you no, clean this up, no, scale this back, and
This shit-
basically Prince
this was all-
Rakim.
wow,
This
so
shit was all
Right,
RZA.
as far as what we were saying, so that was something that was really
Prince
unique
Rock.
as well.
Yeah, nah, but you are right though and shit. Where they just basically the label dictates everything that's going on. They dictated everything that was going on with all
Exactly.
labels and shit.
Trendsetter.
Yeah, really trendsetters and shit. And it is funny because like I said, the Lee Suman, who's the head of SM, was over here in the '90s taking a look at a lot of things that was going on in R&B, hip hop, and pop, and went over and emulated a lot of
It's
things.
almost like to
that they
say,
seen
like,
and
if there
shit.
was no Wu-Tang, there would be none of these guys. Almost, you know what I mean?
Listen, man,
Yes,
it's
it's
that was
because
something that was also
that
said
was
about
something that was
MJ and
mentioned.
Prince, I believe,
They
as
made
far as,
mention that with Michael
yeah.
Jackson and them, because a lot of K-pop is Michael Jackson as well and shit.
Yes.
Just kind of watching him.
Nobody coming out after MJ. MJ created almost everything, man.
Yeah.
So many genres. from him.
And that ain't and I was about to say that's not even just K-pop. That's
Yeah,
kind of
so
just
many.
like genres and
Changed
shit in
music,
general.
So many
Yeah.
genres from him, man. He the GOAT.
Yeah, but it's all a beautiful thing because, like I said, we'll bring up a lot of examples of the past, and then just kind of to see that everything is still alive and well and transitioning into everything that we get now is just like,
History repeat itself, man.
yeah, it's beautiful, man. This K-pop is beautiful. You really can have a breakdown of a lot of discussions, which I do want y'all to get into, and they kind of asked me to show y'all that, but we'll probably get into that like later on. I'm gonna put y'all on like the video called like the history of K-pop, where kind of it tells you a little bit more background on SK, what music they heard from us, and kind of just was like, oh shit,
I would like to see that.
yeah, just because it's a lot and shit. They were fighting wars and doing everything, and they didn't have culture when it came to certain things as far as like. Well, let me rephrase that. And shit. They had music culture, but it was only for particular sounds. So a lot of Western things were where a lot of their media comes from, as far as like music, like film and everything else, and they use things to
A
influence
lot of the
a lot of this
traditional
stuff.
instrumentation as well.
Yeah.
Throughout a lot, at least to my knowledge of it,
Mm-hmm.
of course.
Yeah, so if I worded that wrong, I'm sorry, but it's just like that. The video, when you see the video, you start to kind of things click, and you just like, all right, now I kind of understand
come from,
where it
right?
comes from and what's going on and shit. I wish people who use words like culture vulture and everything else could kind of see videos like that, and then you'll see, and you just be like, oh, okay, I get it. But yeah, that was
It's
my
an
story,
honor,
shit.
actually.
It is. I
think
look at it more as that.
it's an honor, and to see it, still alive.
Imitation is the biggest form
yeah,
of flattery.
yeah, 100%.
So yeah,
That's what art's all about.
yeah. I'm pretty sure
I feel like
someone
it's
looked at some
yeah, I
Mozart
was
or
gonna
Van
say-
Gogh shit and was like,
As I say, that's art to an extent in general, as far as like pushing that longevity and kind of wanting to represent something that extends far beyond the length of years that you're going to be here. Something that's just going to be generational and kind of perhaps if it gets to the point where it does become like cultural or anything like that, and only the greatest forms of art can really say something like that. But it's just amazing kind of when someone's able to pick up something like that and be inspired and kind of make it, you know, something that's their own as well, and carry it forward. You know, so that's just a beautiful thing about art in general, and I think it's, you know, very well exuded within K-pop for sure.
Yeah, bring it back.
Get your horses.
Oh, we see who's that? You did a great job.
Hey.
Nice.
I like to be on set.
Yeah, as far as my spiel, I mean, I basically agree with everything you guys were saying as far as, like, you know, the way the video is presented and everything. Certainly the camera work and the choreography and everything. I think all that is well exuded. Definitely, as you said, you know, the ladies definitely snapped in regards to the background dancing as well. And he, you know, clearly snapped as well. So it's like I can't, you know, take away anything from that, of course. And the video was shot, you know, incredibly with just that boss energy type of feel to it. You really feel kind of that like confidence exuding all the way throughout, that kinetic energy. And I really like how they got creative, as you had said, with some of the fisheye techniques and kind of things like that. We call it like those cinematic, like when you wet the set down to kind of make the lights and everything bounce off, creates more layer and dimension within the frame, shooting at like golden hour and everything, having the white horse for just for, you know, nothing as far as, well, no, not to say nothing, but, you know, basically just like that, like flexing type of kind of boss energy type thing. But nonetheless, like it makes for incredibly cinematic images, and kind of the way they were able to use and bounce lights as well, bouncing kind of the red lights off of like the kind of white building settings and everything like that to create that that layered dimension within the frame too. All that was really cool, and I like the sort of metallic, sort of inner, almost like 2001 kind of look, Space Odyssey. It was giving me a little bit of that, how some of the blues and pinks kind of were bouncing off, you know, the metallic like kind of walls and grays and everything.
The color contrast was amazing.
No, it's sort of the lighting and everything here for sure was incredible. But as far as like, you know, everything that he was doing on this track, like everything really was incredible. Definitely, you feel the energy and the confidence in the dancing. You feel the confidence as well as when he's like, you know, rapping and getting into his flows and everything. And then basically just to touch on like some of well, I would say the lyric that kind of stuck out to me the most, I would say, kind of when you're conveying a little bit of that boss energy and just basically, you know, trying to exude that confidence all the way through. I like that he basically said at one point towards the end of, I guess, the first verse, if I'm not mistaken, was basically, even if I'm nauseous on stage, it'll be like a gluttonous gourmet. Basically, like even if I'm like nauseous of this, like I'm gonna be keep like eating, man. Yeah, like so kind of walking kind of that a bit of that metaphor, perhaps a little bit of an oxymoron as well, if I'm not mistaken. But I like that he kind of was talking about that as well, where it's basically like, even if I'm so used to being on stage and kind of being in the limelight, it's, even if it's something that doesn't give me that kind of thrill anymore, perhaps it's something I'm always gonna like kind of eat when I'm on stage, so to speak. And I just think that was a perfect line to kind of encapsulate the message of the song, really.
Don't
it does. But I'm also really curious to see kind of how this will line up in the context of like the actual, you know, album or EP or mixtape or however you kind of want to sum that up. Because everything that we've really been seeing from EXO has been incredible. I'm still on like the Bad Dreams thing. Bad Dreams is something that really hit for me as well, at least recently. But basically, everything that we've been seeing from him has really been crushing it. So when we're kind of able to get into more of the I don't want to say the unsung heroes, but the lesser kind of, you know, perhaps talked about within the scope of like what we've been able to see, or at least speaking to myself. It's really interesting to get to check out some of those members, because you know they're talented, you know they'll crush it if given, you know, kind of that moment and everything. So getting into more of them and feeling like I'm becoming a little bit more well versed within just, you know, EXO in general is something that's always welcoming to me. So I'm really curious to check out, you know, any more, whether it's in regards to this album or any of the other members' kind of work and everything. But it's always like there's so much lore to explore within EXO itself, that this is always something that's going to be interesting for me too. And honestly, he crushed it on all cylinders. There's really no complaints that I have about it.
Yeah, shout out to the backup dancers, man.
Seriously, shout out to y'all.
Seriously, they really did their thing, man. This is just killing it. Not only looking good, but just out here like making everything
just good.
Do what it do. Now they really are carrying and shit. Like that. They grinding and shit.
They in their bag for sure.
These Jones really is flex.
That's the thing too. It's like it's not even just like a pure visual thing. It's like, you know, the technique and everything. As far as, you know, they're They're really out there.
They crisp.
It is funny though. That's I love the '90s R&B and R&B or hip hop rooms and shit. And you know exactly what I'm talking about and shit.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's like those where it's like the room and it's all like and it's angled
Missy
the same
Elliott.
way.
Yeah,
Yes,
Missy
That's why I
Elliott,
said
Busta
that
Rhymes.
reminds me
of
of some of the
Puffy,
looking
Mace,
Busta Rhymes,
Yes.
Missy
Missy Elliott
Fish Eye
Jones.
type. That's that.
Puffy and them with the-
Puffy
with
and it's always Puffy and Mace always had those type of videos. Missy
Busta Rhymes, Missy Elliott, bro.
Yeah, that's what I said. Missy
Favorite
too.
Missy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Missy,
no,
Costa. All the goats, dog.
That shit
Oh,
funny.
definitely. Luda did it a lot too.
Yeah, that shit funny too. The dog was flexing too. The dog had
It's
pearls.
Barbara Bush, man.
You know what's funny too? Like speaking of Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes, like a lot of K-pop has
But
that type
they
of
had
feel,
that, yeah.
and like over here,
all
like
in your face
they are
Late
notorious
90s,
for
early
that type of look.
2000s.
You know, that wild, real vibrant colors, the
Can't
contrast.
stand the rain.
I swear to
It's
God.
my
yeah.
window.
Shit, even Superfly. Like, ooh, I suck
can't
it to me.
stand the rain. Oh, that was that John.
Yeah, you know and shit. Like you said, all the Busta stuff as far as maybe not
Your
being as
Majesty?
kind of like is like
Boisterous.
yeah, boisterous is a great word and shit. Like as boisterous or anything like that, but definitely animated when it comes to certain things and just how into it that the MVs and everything be. So it's they actually and it's funny too. I'm not gonna run on a tangent either. Most of the times in the '90s and the early 2000s, music videos actually felt like they gave a fuck. You actually saw where the budget
Right.
was being used at,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
K-pop is that. You see where the budget is
Yeah.
being used at, and it feels like people give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah, and
Which is-
ironically, tying that back to
which is
what
crazy.
you had said about K-pop, as far as like the essence of kind of when the music seemed to like really be kind of taken off, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. But their film industry is like that as well, in relation to like around the timing it seemed. So basically, the pairing of like the growth of the filmmaking with the music itself, it felt like it just meshed so well. So it just feels like it's so well intertwined when you kind of get the cinematic aspects of the music videos. And the film in general, and just the way they kind of seamlessly blended to.
Yeah, this is a good joint, man. Y'all good?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jump in the comments, man. Tell us how y'all felt about this. SM be carrying, man. SM, this shit different, man. Like you said, Kurt, I'm happy we jumping into other people's solo work and kind of getting a little bit more from like everybody from EXO. Dangerous ass group,
More
man.
flavors of what you know is an all-encompassing group as it is anyway.
This is scary, man. They got all heavy hitters, man, and shit. We gonna holler at y'all, man. We love y'all.
Take care.
Peace.